Hello everyone, hopefully you're doing well. In this video, we're going to continue with chapter 3, graph and functions. So let's say for graphs and functions, we covered kind of a lot of topics so far. Graphing equations, introduction to functions, graphing linear equations. In the last video, we went over the slope of a line. Now, how about with the equations of the line? Because as we said, in the last section, you learned that the slope-intercept form of a linear equations is y equal mx plus b. That was the slope intercept form. In this section, we're going to focus on the equations of the line. We're going to graph a line using its slope and y-intercept. We're going to use slope-intercept form to write equations of the line. We're going to use point slope form to write the equations of lines. We're going to write equations of vertical and horizontal lines and finding equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. So that's what we're going to do. As one of the first examples, we're talking about graphing a line using the slope-intercept form. Remember, the slope-intercept form at this point is equal to mx plus b, where m is the slope. Remember that we said the m is the slope, and b is the y-intercept. Okay, so in these particular examples where we say a 2/3 of x plus 1, this is 2/3 of x plus 1. This equations, is the y-intercept form. So if you remember what we covered in the last sections, you know that the coefficient of x is the slope. That means m here, I'm gonna say slope m. Slope m, because we use m to represent the slope, so it's 2/3. Okay, do not convert it to decimal. We're going to leave it as is. And slope is 2/3, and y-intercept, because you're gonna have the y-intercept is b, or you can say y-intercept. That means the point that intersect with the y-axis is when x is 0, y would be 1. Remember, now this is the slope and this is the y-intercept. So when you have that, it's like we almost have everything to graph. So to graph the line, we first need to plot the y-intercept. So if you want to graph in the xy plane, the first thing to do is to plot when x is 0, y is 1. So we know this is our first point. Okay. Now, remember this slope. Slope is rise over run. Okay. Apologize for all the sirens outside. So we to find another point on the line, as we said, because we remember that slope is rise over run, that means you rise 2 units and you want 3. Rise 2 units and run 3 units to the right. So that's why we can say that another point may be plot, by starting at point at 0, 1. Okay. So we rise 2 units. Remember, this space right there is 2 units. And we run from that 2 units, 3 units, because it's 2/3. All right. So that's how we identify our second point. Now, with 2 points, it's getting easy to graph. Remember, you only need 2 points to graph. From there, right? You can now I mean, with that point, we have the graph of the line going through these 2 points. So we're gonna have this is our graph, right? So as you could see, we rise 2 units. That's a rise, and we run 3 units. Well, I'm gonna put the run down there just to not to confuse you too much. Okay, run 3 units, right? So that's what we do. Notice that the line does, uh, you know, does not have the line does have a y-intercept. Okay, does have a y-intercept 0, 1 and is slope footed. Okay, so that's very important for you to remember. You don't, I mean, of course, if you want, because here they ask us to use the y-intercept and the slope. If for some reasons you still cannot get it, you can also construct a table where you assign values to x in order to find y. Among them, you can put 0. If x is 0, you know y gonna be 1, so that will be the y-intercept. Okay, so here all they ask us to do is to graph. Different ways to graph. First, we could solve the equations for y to write it in the slope-intercept form, because if we subtract 3 from both sides, 3x from both sides, you know you're going to have y equal negative 3x minus 2. We know here this slope is negative 3 over 1 that you don't see, and the y-intercept would be 0, negative 2. So you see from here, right in the y-intercept, the slope-intercept form, because slope-intercept form, remember you must have not 2y, not 3y, not negative. We have y equal mx plus b. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept. Now, after I have that, we need to plot the y-intercept on the xy plane. So, okay, we need a very straight line. Okay, suppose these lines are straight, okay? So we're going to -1, -2. This is the y-intercept. Remember, the -1, -2 is the y-intercept. Now, look at the coefficient of x here. You know, if the coefficient of x is negative, that means if this slope is negative, the graph would fall from left to right. So now look, if we could choose to go either -1 down, or if we go 1 up, okay, let's suppose we go 1 up, because, uh, um, I mean 3 up, sorry, we can go, or we go 3 down. Let's go 3 up, because for x, let's suppose x, no, it's go down for 1, 2, and 3. That means -3, -4, and -5. Now, if we go 3 down, we're gonna go 1 to the right. So if we go 1 to the right, this is the second point right there, okay? Remember, this is 1. So what we do in order to graph, the graph would be something like that, going all the way down, and suppose this is very straight. Okay, that would be the graph of 3x plus y equal -2. You see, this graph, for this graph, what happened here with this graph, it has a negative slope because it's fall from left to right, okay? So the y-intercept is 0, -2. This slope is -3, which means we move down 3 units and go right 1 unit to find another point on the line. So it's very important to remember that. Then we graph, okay? That's giantly important. Some other examples we can cover that for these examples, we would focus on using slope-intercept form to write equations of the line. So remember, equations of the line is y equal mx plus b. So we know m is the slope and B is the y-intercept. So if I have, this is my y-intercept here, and this is my slope. So if I know the format is y equal mx plus b, if I substitute for m, what is m? Yes, m is 2/3. What is b? Yes, b, remember b is -5 here. So if I replace, I'm gonna have y equal 2/3 of x plus -5. I mean, do we have to plus -5? Yeah, plus minus give you minus. So y equal 2/3 of x minus 5 is the final answer as they ask us to write the equation of the line using the y-intercept and the slope in this case. So um, we write it in slope-intercept form. You could write the standard form or the general form. You know, that wouldn't matter to do all of this. It wouldn't be any problem. Now, the point slope form, the point slope form of the equation, the point slope form of the equation of the of a line is y minus y1 equal m times x minus x1. But we're going to say that's the equation formula. Going to call it formula for the equation of the line. So what this formula is, if you, for any points on the graph, that means for any points x1, y1, remember x1, y1 here, they are both real numbers, and a point on the line, and m, the slope. So if they give you 1 point and the slope, then you can find the equation of the line. Because in your final equation, slope-intercept from the x and the y won't change. But x1 will change, y1 will change, m will change. All right. So that's why we use that beautiful formula, y minus y1 equal m times x minus x1. So that would be the formula for to write the equations of the line, or we can call it point slope intercept form. So that's totally good to do that. Another examples, because this sections, as I said, is going to be not very long section, but let's go over these examples where we need to find equation of the line using slope m equal -2 that passes through the point negative 11, -12. Remember, if you put -11, -12, so that means this is x1, this is y1. And slope m equal -2. We know the formula for this is y minus y1 equal m times x minus x1. Okay, what they want us to do at the end, our equations must look like this one, that the slope-intercept form y equal mx plus b. Now, just substitute. Um, the first y stay as is. You know what would be y1. Y1 would be y -12 equal, what is m? Yes, -2 times x minus x1. What is x1? -11. Okay. Now, with all those negative, positive, remember order of signs, two negative in multiplication give you positive. So we're going to have y plus 12. Now, before we even distribute, we're going to get rid of the other two negative, give us positive here. All right, I'm gonna keep my 12 on the left, but distribute the -2. That's give us -2x minus 22. Remember, how do we do it? We distribute -2 times x and -2 times 11. All right, now how about we subtract 12? Okay, y equal negative 2x, negative 22 minus 12. When you have two negative in addition, we add and keep the sign. So we're going to do 22 plus 12 give us 34, but negative 34. So this is the slope-intercept form y equal mx plus b. So that would be negative 2x minus 34. That's our equation of the line, and it is in slope-intercept form. Now that you know how to write an equation in slope-intercept form, you can identify the slope, you can identify the y-intercepts. We need to remember also when we write an equations using 2 points, like this one, that's in these examples, we have 2 points. Remember x1, y1, and here we have x2, y2. Anytime we have 2 points, and at the end, we remember the equations of the line in slope-intercept form is mx plus b. First of all, we must find the slope, okay? To find the slope, we remember slope in the previous formula is the rise over the run, the change in y over the change in x. We have two y's, so that means we need to subtract the smaller y from the larger y. That means y2 minus y1 and over x2 minus x1. What is y2? Is negative 1 minus 0 over 6 minus negative 4. So we end up with negative 1 over 6 plus 4. It's negative 1 over 10. Now, this is our slope, okay? So we're going to call this slope m equal negative 1 over 10. All right, we're not done. We know equations of the line. Remember the formula? Equations of the line is y minus y1 equal m times x minus x1. We have 2 points. You can choose either one. If you decide x1, y1 would be negative 4, 0, go for it. Then this would be y minus 0 equal negative 1 over 10 times x minus negative 4. We substitute. Then it gave us y minus 0. Y minus 0 is y. Negative 110 times x plus 4. Okay, see what happened? We have only y because y minus 0 is y. And negative 1 over 10 x minus 4 over 10 4 over 10. All right, so when we simplify, it gives us negative 1 over 10x minus 2 over 5 because we always need to simplify and we simplify to the lowest term. For your fraction must be in the lowest term. But what they ask you to do is to express your answer in both the slope-intercept form and the standard form. So if I include another slide to show you the slope-intercept form, remember what we just have is y equal negative 1 over 10x minus, is it minus or something? Minus 2 of 10. Minus 2 over 5. So what we need to do is really multiply both sides by 10. If you multiply both sides by 10, I'm going to do that with a different color. I don't know why I changed it. So I multiply this side by 10, and I'm going to multiply this side by 10. So I have 10y equal negative 10 over 10x minus 20 over 5. So we have 10y equal negative x minus 4. Can we bring the x, if we add x to both sides? Final answer would be x plus 10y equal -4. So this is the standard form. So remember they ask you to write the equations in standard form, then, standard form and slope-intercept form. The first one was slope-intercept form, but this one is in standard form or the general form. Okay. All right. Another good examples for you to follow. Of course, you can do that. And we can even go with another beautiful example. So number 6, write the equation of the line graph. In these examples, they don't give you any data. They only give you a graph. The first thing, you can identify 2 points on the line if you want, or you can identify the slope at the y-intercept. So at what point you think that the graph intersect the y-axis? So you could find that. If it's so difficult to find, how about you take 2 points, any 2 points? I can go with, I'm gonna go with 2.25, for example, because this one is easy to see. You can see 2, 5, you x2, y5. So I'll take 1.25. Another easy point that I can see here is I can take -1, 4, or I can take -4, 3. I try to take some easy point. -4 and 3. Now, with these 2 points, I can find the slope. Remember, slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Y2 is 3 minus 5 over -4 minus 2. Now, -2 over -6, both negative. Remember, in divisions, uh, two negative become positive. So it would be 2 over 6. Remember, you should always express your fractions in simplest form. That means you need to simplify. So it would be 1/3. In this case, we would consider that our slope is 1/3. We know the slope. The reason why we do that is because you would use the equation of the line y minus y1 equal m times x minus x1. So any point between these two, if I let x1, y1 be the first, be 2, 5, and we know m, so y minus y1 would be y minus 5 equal m 1/3 times x minus x1 minus 2. No sign, negative sign to distribute anything. So what we would do is to distribute 1/3 of x minus 2/3. I need to add 5 to both sides because I need only y on one side. Did they ask for a standard form? Oh, actually, they asked us for standard form, but we still need to do 1/3 of x. Now, what is 5 minus 2/3? Same denominator, 3 over 3. So we're going to have 15 over 3 minus 2 over 3. You see, answer would be 13 over 3. So in this case, we have 13 over 3. Because we need the standard form, remember we have 1/3 of x plus 13 over 3. Multiply both sides by 3, we end up with 3y equal x plus 13. So if we want to bring everything, we're gonna have -x plus 3y equal 13 when we subtract x to both sides. So this is the standard form. Okay. So remember, standard form is in the form ax plus by equals c. That's a standard form. All right. Another beautiful examples that you may like. Okay. You may like. I believe we said plus. Yeah. Okay. Definitely that's one examples. Remember, in this case, we can be in situation where we have to solve problems using the slope-intercept form as well. The previous next examples, it's about a problem. In 2007, I'm going to try to reduce it smaller than that, okay? Let me reduce it and make it character 24. Let's do 20 if you can read it from there. Okay. In 2007, right? Window World Incorporation had 50 employees. In 2022, the company had 85 employees. Okay. If you let X represent the number of years after 2007 and let Y represent the number of employees, like if you want, you can even write this one. In 2007, you have 50 employees. That's your first point. In 2022, you have how many employees? 85 employees. All right. So what they ask you to do, assume that the relationship between years and number of employees is linear. Can you please write an equation describing this relationship? The year, what you need to remember here, the year 2007 is represented by X, that's the initial one, that X equals 0. So 2007, X is equal to 0, if you want to see it that way, right? And so that means what would be year 2022? If year 2007 is X is 0, so in 2022 is 15 years later. So that would be X would be 15. Years 2007, so 22 represent X equal 15. The 2 points you can use at this point is X. When X is 0, okay, Y is 50. And when X is 15, Y is 85. Here we go. We obtain our 2 points, and we will be using these 2 points to find the slope and write the equations using the equation formula, equation of the line formula. Now, with these two, what would be the slope? Equation of the line would be y minus y1 equal m times x minus x1. If we consider already have the first point x1, y1, we need this slope. So slope m would be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So it would be y2 is 85 minus 50 over 15 minus 0. So when we do that, it would give us 35 over 15 that you can simplify because both end with 5, so multiples of 5, it's 7 over 3. So we have our slope m equals 7 over 3. Now, we know the slope. We can identify any of these 2 points to consider as our first point, x1, y1. We're going to take 0, 50. How about that? Hoping you're good with that. So y minus y1 is 50 equal m 7 over 3 x minus x1, which is 0. Y minus 50 equals 7 third of x. Because we need to solve for only y on the left, because we need to isolate y, so we add 50 to both sides. And we end up with y equals 7 over 3x plus 50. This is the slope-intercept form for the equations of the line. Now, what do they ask you? They said, assume that the relationship between years and number of employees is linear. Write an equation describing this relationship. So we use the equation y equals 7 over 3x plus 50 to predict the number of employees that they're going to ask you for any year. So if we're looking for B using the equation y equals 7 third of x plus 50, we can predict the number of employees, okay? The number of employees in 2017. But all you need to remember from 2007 to 2017, how many years? Okay. So remember 2007, X was 0. So 2017, X would be what? Yes, 10. Thank you. So to how many employees in that company in 2017? Remember, is 7 third of X plus 50. So we know X is 10, 7 third times 10 plus 50. After you do a lot of computations, because this one would give you y equals 70 over 3 plus 50. Okay. Now, we can go with 70 plus 50. Okay, that's very important to go with 70 plus 50. That would be 70 divided by 50 give you 23. 20, 33 plus 50. That would be y equal, would that be 70? 73.33. Now, in terms of people, we cannot have decimal for people, right? It's only on TV you hear 2.5 men. In real life, you either have 2 men or you have 3 men. So 73.33, we're supposed to round up, but in this case, because if we find decimal is because the budget for that company is limited to no more than 73.33. So that's why we prefer to round down to 73 employees. All right. So using that equation of the line, we can predict that the company would have 73 employees in 2017. Okay. You see the good side of understanding how the slope works, because the slope help us to predict the future. Remember, if you have the slope help us to predict the future populations, right? If you can use the slope and you know what is the initial population you had, with the slope you can predict what would be the population of a certain area after 50 years, after 100 years, after 200. You can even predict the future, right? Now, with the next examples, these examples we have, with the next examples that number 8, it says, write the equation of a horizontal line containing the point 4, 5. In these examples, what we're trying to do is to write equations of vertical line and horizontal line. A horizontal line has an equation of the form y equal b. A horizontal line has an equation of the form y equal b. So from this point, you have two coordinates. The first coordinate is x, and the second coordinate is y. So we can see here that y equal 5. And with this when you graph, remember y is equal to 5. When you graph, you would obtain a horizontal line. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the y-axis. When you graph that, you see it's a horizontal line. Okay, a horizontal line has the equation y equal b. That's what you need to remember. So it's y equal 5. In the next examples, write the equation of the line containing the point 5, 4, 4, 5 with undefined slope. Since the line has undefined slope, the line must be vertical. And a vertical line has an equation of the form y, okay, vertical line has an equation of the form x equals c. I use c, but here, because they give you a point 45, we know in a point there are two coordinates. The x coordinate come first, and the second coordinate, the y coordinate, comes second. So at this point, because I'm interested to x, not y, I would say I'm going to graph x equal 4. Now, on the xy plane, if I count 1, 2, 3, and 4, I know x equal 4 is this vertical line, very vertical. So x equal 4 is a vertical line. We're going to conclude this section with perpendicular, finding equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. If you missed the lecture on perpendicular lines and parallel lines, I would strongly advise you to go back and play and watch the video covering section 3.4, the slope of a line. So write any equations because that's what we're planning on doing in these last two examples. Write an equation of the line containing the point -2, 4, and is parallel to the line, okay, x equal 3, y equals 6. This is what happened. First of all, I can rewrite the line x plus 3y equals 6 in the slope-intercept form. If I subtract x from both sides, I'm going to have 3y equal negative x plus 6. Now, divide both sides by 3. I'll have my equations, negative 1/3 of x. 6 divided by 3, yes, is 2. Now, remember, the equation of the line. Two lines are parallel if they have the same slope. Okay? If they have the same slope. Now, since parallel lines have the same slope, we use the slope, slope is m equal negative 1/3 for both of them. So we can use that for our new equations. We have 1 point, and if we use the point -2, 4, then we know the equation of the line is y minus y1 equal m times x minus x1. Well, again, I apologize for the imbalance. I'm in an area where there's a lot of problems, okay? So y minus 4 equal negative 1/3 of x minus -2. Okay, y minus 4 equal negative 1/3 x plus 2. First of all, you need to distribute y minus 4, negative 1/3 of x minus 2/3. Yeah, we almost there. How about we add 4 to both sides? When you add 4 to both sides, you only have y on one side, 1/3 of x minus 2 plus 4. 2/3 plus 4. 3 times 4 is 12 minus 2 is 10. So y equal negative 1/3 of x plus 10 over 3. This is the equations of the line, the second equation of the line, because remember for us here, the equations of the line, what they were asking us to do is to use the equation of the line containing the post negative 2, 4, that is parallel to the line x plus 3y, to write the equation in slope-intercept form. And that's what we just did. We you you can see that both has the same slope. Now let's go with the last examples in this section. So write the equation of the line containing the point 3, -5, that is perpendicular. Okay. That is perpendicular to the line 3x plus 2y equals 7. First, we need to find the slope of the line for 3x plus 2y equals 7. Subtract 3x on both sides. We have 2y equal negative 3x plus 7. Divide everything by 2, so negative 3/2 of x plus 7 over 2. This is the equation of the line. Remember here, the slope is negative 3/2. Now, since perpendicular lines have slope that are negative reciprocals of each other, we use the slope of 2/3 for our new equation together with the given point. So what we're gonna do, we're going to use the slope 2/3, okay? We use this slope 2/3 because now remember this one is negative 2/3. So new slope for the equation, we're going to use m2 as only 2/3 because this one gonna be positive, right? For our new equations, and we have the point 3, -5 as x1, y1. So y minus y1 equal m times x minus x1. So y minus -5 equal 2/3 x minus 3. Y plus 5 equal 2/3 of x minus 2. If we subtract 5 from both sides, I have y equal 2/3 of x minus 7, and that would be the equation of the line expressing in slope-intercept form. I hope this video helped you to better understand this section that was on graphs and functions, and it will help you to understand better the use of slopes, and also you can write any equation in slope-intercept form and standard form. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.